Hello everybody, welcome back. So happy, I think this will be Friday that you guys are watching this, but it's Wednesday that I'm making it, so happy Friday. Um, so I want to talk about your reader's identity. So what does that even really mean? A reader identity is who you are as a reader. So what individual things do you like? What do you not like? What are your strengths? What are your improvements? Like, who are you? How would you describe yourself? So, a couple of questions I think that can really start us, and I am going to want you in your notebook under the reading ELA section to answer these 4 questions. So, if you need to pause the video at any time, just click the pause button. So, number 1, when and where do you read? I want you to answer this in 2 sentences. So, one sentence will be when, and one will be where. So, for me, when do I read? I usually read at night or in the afternoon, very rarely in the morning. Because if I'm reading, I'm either in bed trying to fall asleep, so that would be my nighttime read, or if I'm in the afternoon, I'm probably at the beach or the pool. I love, love, love to read while I'm outside. What kind of books do you like to read? So, for me, I like to read fiction books. I like to read romantic novels. I like to read historical books. And I also like to read some sports books about people that I already know previously. So, favorite author, series, or genre? And genre is a fancy way to say type. So, it's kind of like giving a category of the book. So, we're going to talk about genre and what it means to your reader identity a little bit later. So, basically, I just wanted to tell you, like, if you went to the bookstore, what section, what author would you like make a beeline for? For me, it's Nicholas Sparks. I love him as an author. He's actually based out of North Carolina, so I think that's really cool too. Let's see, series. I like the Crazy Rich Asian series. They made it into a book, or it has 3 books. It's a trilogy, and they've come out with a movie for the first one, and they said they're going to come out with another movie, but we shall see. Um, How do you pick a new book? I really, really like this question. How do I pick a new book? Well, the first thing I do is I usually will go online and see if if I really enjoyed the author, if he has any more books that they really recommend. Or what I will do is search like the top 50 page for like young adults to see if there's anything new that's just popped up on there. I ask for recommendations from friends or other teachers to see what all they're reading. So, really, it's through a lot of word of mouth and searching online, just seeing like what else that author has come out with, or do they have any other series that I might be interested in. And the main thing when you're answering these questions, I want to know the why. Like, I don't want you to say, how do you pick a new book? Go to the library. But like, why did you pick that specific book? So try and be as specific as possible. I want each of these to at least be 2 sentences, 2 full sentences with good grammars, periods, punctuation, capital letters, all that good stuff. Please. Hi. So we are in the middle of reading Old Henry. I have gotten all of my stop and jot set up before I start reading. So remember, you can make a little box and then put 4 mini boxes inside of it so that you have space for at least 4 stop and jots. And now, if we don't remember what a stop and jot is, that is just a really, really quick reference. You can start it off, you can write it on a sticky, or you can write it straight into your boxes. And they typically are going to start with I think or I wonder. It's a great way to make sure that we're doing close reading, and if we have questions later, we can go back and ask them with the I wonder. So, just to give us a little summary as to what we've read so far, Henry just moved into a house that was very, very old, and no one had lived in it for 7 years. So it was pretty run down. All the neighbors were so excited that he was going to get everything set up, But what did Henry do? Nothing. He just wanted to read. He didn't care what his house looked like. He was like, I'd rather spend my time reading. So let's see what is going to happen to old Henry. One day in November, they sought the... Oh, wrong page. Sorry. Still the hollyhocks whittled, unwatered, unkempt. The gateposts stayed crooked, the walk stayed unswept, and things went on as they'd begun, and he angered his neighbors one by one. So, he's just kind of doing his own thing. His neighbors are getting even angrier. Doesn't sound like a super good environment. So unfriendly, never talks. Can't we make him sweep his walks? No, there's nothing we can do. You nasty Polly, shoo, bird, shoo. I think, or you know what? I wonder if the neighbors will clean / remove his mess. So, I took my sticky right here, and it says, I wonder if the neighbors will clean / remove his mess, because they've complained about it, and they've made it very, very clear that they do not like it. So I wonder if they're going to do anything about it, or if Henry's going to end up cleaning it, or I wonder if it's just going to stay like that. So I'm going to turn around and stick it right here. And remember, you don't have to have a sticky. It's a little helpful so that you guys can see what I'm writing. But don't just write the same thing. You need to come up with your own, okay? On a day in November, they sought the advice of the mayor, who suggested being nice. Being nice? Please, try it twice. So there's the mayor. They're all asking, what should we do? But 2 of the ladies baked him a pie. He said, I'm not hungry. No, thank you. Goodbye. So they're kind of trying to make an effort to him, but Henry's just like, I'm not really interested. And then 3 of the men said they'd shovel his snow. He quickly said, no, we told you so. I think Henry doesn't care about his mess. I don't think Henry's being lazy. I just think that he doesn't care. It doesn't matter to him what his house or what his yard looks like. So I think Henry doesn't care about his mess. Now Henry too had his fill. That night he grumbled, I never will live like the rest of them. Neat and the same. I am sorry I came. I think that is such an interesting page. He doesn't want to be like everybody else. I never will live like the rest of them. Neat and the same. I am sorry I came. This makes me wonder, has this happened to him before? So, I wonder, has this happened to him before? You guys, I already have 3 Stop and Jots, so there's no reason you guys can't have at least 4, okay? Then he packed some things in shopping bags and tied the rest in 3 old rags. He didn't make plans. He just left a short note, a hastily written, gone to Dakota. He taped it to the big front door. So Henry's going to Dakota. And no one lives there anymore. So he didn't just go. He left. He's not coming home. I think Henry is more sensitive than he shows. So I think Henry has a very tough exterior and wants to be like a really big, kind of tough guy. You know, he wants to show everyone, I don't care what you think. I'm going to have my stuff however he wants. But I think at the end of the day, he does want to be accepted because he's leaving. His daylilies bloomed, his phlox grew tall. They picked his apples in the fall. They picked his apples, and now and then someone would ask, remember when? Remember when? Remember when? You know, I already filled up all of mine, but now I kind of wonder if they miss him. I wonder if the neighbors who ran him off kind of miss him. Later still, in winter snow, they ask one another, where did he go? Will he come again? So the neighbors miss him. They want to know where he went. They're very concerned. Is he coming home? His house looks so empty, so dark in the night, and having him gone doesn't make us more right. That Henry. Maybe some other time we'd get along, not thinking that somebody has to be wrong, and we don't have to make such a terrible fuss, because everyone isn't exactly like us. This kind of reminds me of what we're talking about in morning meeting, like realizing that our differences are not weaknesses. Our differences are also strengths. It gives us an opportunity to learn, to grow, to maybe discover something new about ourselves. Our differences don't have to be bad, and we shouldn't force everyone to be the exact same. Like Henry, if he doesn't want his house to look good, that should be Henry's choice. And we should accept him for it and love him still. So, meanwhile, old Henry, to his great surprise, was missing the neighbors who'd bought him the pies. In spite of their nagging, he really did care for them and their street, so he wrote to the mayor. So Henry does care. He just had on his tough exterior. He does care. He does care what his neighbors think. Dear Mr. Mayor, I am finding it hard to be far from my house and my tree in my yard. If I mended the gate and I shoveled the snow, would they not scold my birds? Could I let my grass grow? Please write and tell me the answers so then we can all get together. Sincerely yours, Henry. So I think that's a really cool feature that it actually looks like it's on like a written piece of paper. And I just imagine Henry sitting here thinking about, you know, what he's done and how he's willing to change. So I hope that you enjoyed this book. Thank you. Go complete your comprehension questions. If you need to rewatch this, you can.